जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की जय। निताय चैतन्य की जय। परशुराम भगवान की जय। वामन देव की जय। पंचतत्व की जय। गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधारा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna everyone. Thank you very much for joining. Let's begin today's verse. So we are doing this chapter number 10. The name of this chapter is Opulences of the Absolute. So the absolute truth has infinite opulences. We will hear some of the prominent opulences in this chapter. This is a very important chapter because here is where Lord Krishna is going to speak about his divine opulences. If we understand these opulences perfectly well, then we can become fixed up in devotional service and we will get the perfect knowledge of the absolute truth. So let us see today's verse. Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter, verse number 16. Vaktum arhasya sheshena divya hyatma vibhutayaha yabhir vibhutir lokan imamstvam vyapyatishtati. Please tell me in detail of your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. So now Arjuna is requesting Krishna to tell about his divine opulences by which he is pervading the entire world. So Krishna or God is all pervasive. How he is pervading? That is specifically mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. So let us do a quick recap of this entire chapter, starting from the verse number 1 in the 10th chapter till this verse. So let us begin with the verse number 1. In the first verse, Lord Krishna is saying, listen again. He's saying, listen again. So that's very important. Means, listening is very important. Shrunu eva paramam vachaha. What this basically means here is, listening is an important activity. Huh? Here what is Krishna saying? Listen again, O mighty armed Arjuna, because you are my dear friend. For your benefit, I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained. So he's saying, I'm going to tell something better than what you have already heard. And Krishna is saying, Shrunu me paramam vachaha. This is like the topmost knowledge that I'm going to give you. So this is better than the 9th chapter. 9th chapter is already the most confidential knowledge. And Krishna is saying, this is better than that. So here, and let's just try to understand the theme of this verse. Hearing is very important. If we hear to certain topic, we get interest in that topic. Any kind of glorification. For example, if we are hearing continuously about certain mobile phone, then we will feel like buying it. Is it not? So similarly, that is about the material things. If we are speaking about or if you are hearing about a materialistic person, then we feel like associating with that person. So similarly, hearing is a very, very powerful exercise, but it has to be carefully used. So we have to use it for spiritual activity. If we engage our ears in materialism, then we will get dragged to materialism. But if we engage our ears in hearing about Krishna, about Krishna's opulences, then it will be great benefit for us. That's why Krishna said, Vakshami hita kamayaya. Hita means what? For your benefit. So that means hearing Bhagavad Gita is our benefit. Krishna consciousness is our real benefit. Let's see the next verse where Lord Krishna is speaking about in the chapter number 10. So the second verse, Lord Krishna is saying this. Neither the host of the demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and the sages. So here in this verse, Krishna is telling that nobody can know about me. So it is not possible that, some philosopher comes and says that I am a very great philosopher. I'm very, very popular philosopher and I know better than Krishna. I have written a commentary on Bhagavad Gita and my commentary is better than Krishna's Bhagavad Gita. This is wrong. This kind of conception, this kind of cult worship, we should stop. Right? So we should have a knowledge of who is who. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is the Jagat Guru. So first is Krishna. Right? That we have to understand. So everybody, anybody, any great philosopher also, he may be how much ever popular, is only next to Krishna. Only he may be great. If he is repeating as it is, then he is respected as a guru. If he is writing his own commentary, then it is completely invalid. So first thing is Krishna first, right? So therefore, the great sages cannot understand Krishna, and not even the demigods. What to talk about the sages? The demigods cannot understand Krishna, or the sages can understand Krishna, because he is the origin of all those. So whoever is the origin of the sages, origin of the devatas, how can he be known by those people who are coming from him? So that is why the devatas, there are how many devatas? 3.3 crore devatas. That is like 33 million devatas are there. 33 million devatas, all of them put together also, they cannot know Krishna. This is what Krishna is saying. All the rishis put together with all their great mystic powers, they cannot know Krishna. And what about a person who knows Krishna? What is his position? Here is what Krishna says. He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme Lord of all the worlds, he only, undeluded among men, is freed from all sins. All sins. So only that person who knows that Krishna is beginningless, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only such a person is freed from all sins. So that means to take a stand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not a sectarian or a foolish or an unintelligent or a fanatic stand. It is a stand that Krishna himself is taking. And he's saying it is the extraordinary stand to take, to declare that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And it is good for us to do that. What is the benefit if we do that? He is freed from all the sins. So as soon as I say, yes, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as soon as I accept it, then immediately I will become peaceful and I will become free from sins. So this is the process that Krishna is recommending, that we must accept that Krishna is the Supreme Lord for all the worlds. Only then Krishna is saying that such a person is undeluded. That means those people who do not accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who are in the basic level of Karma Kanda, and who are telling all these concepts like, Ishta Devata, I will worship whoever I want, you worship who you want, I will say that this is my God, this is your God. They are all in delusion. Mohitam nabhijanati avajananti mama mudha. That means simply that they are in delusion. That means they are captured by the three modes of material nature of Krishna. Means they are in some kind of illusion. They have to come out of that illusion. And then Krishna is saying in the 4th, 5th verses that all these qualities mentioned here, like intelligence, knowledge, freedom, freedom from doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of the senses, control of the mind, happiness, distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame and infamy, all these qualities are created by me alone. So Krishna is the reservoir of all the good qualities. So even if somebody is very intelligent, who has a lot of knowledge, and he's very truthful, very forgiveful, like anybody you can take, for example, the great examples like, Satya Harishchandra, or the great magnanimous Shibi Chakravarti, or all those people who have shown great extraordinary qualities. Krishna is saying all these qualities of living beings are created by me alone. Every quality, the source of every good quality comes from Krishna. So if somebody is preaching non-violence, like Mahatma Gandhi ji, Krishna is saying, this quality is created by me. It is originally Krishna's. So any great quality, if you can take from any great personality, originally is created by Krishna. And he's saying, the 7 great sages and before them, the 4 other great sages and the Manus come from me, born from my mind, and all the living beings populating the various planets descend from them. So Krishna is explaining that the entire world population right now, whoever, all the human beings, animals put together, they are not coming from some random thing. There's nothing called as random. Everything is designed. Everything has got a plan. And they are all coming from the progenitors. That is, the progenitors of the mankind are the Saptarishis, right? And the Manus. There are 14 Manus in one day of Brahma. And there are 7 Rishis, Saptarishis. And there are 4 Kumaras. So all of them put together, 25 are there. So all these are called as the progenitors of the mankind, right? The entire mankind is coming from these people only. It does not matter whether a person is from Russia or America or China or Japan. They are all coming from these progenitors only. And Krishna is saying, these progenitors come from my mind. So directly or indirectly, Krishna is the source. Krishna is the seed-giving father. That's why Krishna is the father of all the living entities. And the next verse, Krishna is saying, one who is factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mine engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this, there is no doubt. So that means, if we are convinced about Krishna, that Krishna is the source of all the human beings, Krishna is the source of all the living entities. If we are convinced, what is the proof? The proof is, such a person will be engaging in unalloyed devotional service. That means pure devotional service, without any kind of deviation, without any kind of interruption. Such a person will engage in the devotional service of Krishna. So that means that a person has understood Bhagavad Gita. So that is the right conclusion. If somebody has understood Bhagavad Gita or not, how do you know? This is the testing. The test is whether such a person is engaging in devotional service of Krishna or not. If some person comes and says, I have understood Bhagavad Gita, I have done a PhD, and such a person is not engaging in the devotional service of Krishna, that means he did not understand anything about Bhagavad Gita or about Krishna. Because as soon as we understand about Krishna and convinced about him, we will immediately engage in his service. And now Krishna is talking about the 4 seed verses or the Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita, where he is saying, you see, I am the source of the spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this, engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So there is material world and there is spiritual world. That is Ekapada, Tripada. Ekapada means 1/4. Tripada means 3/4. The material world that we are currently in is only 1/4 of the creation. That is 25% only. And who stays in the material world? Conditioned living entities who want to master over the material nature, who want to lord over the material nature, who want to think that I am the Lord. Such people are kept here and they are being given the repeated birth and death and old age and diseases in this material world. That is the position of the material world. Beyond this material world, there is a spiritual world, which is not just little bit, a small portion. No, it is the majority, 75%. The liberated souls are the majority. We are the minority. We feel that, oh, come on, Bhagavad Gita, oh, I think like nobody reads about Bhagavad Gita. Like the entire world is not interested in Bhagavad Gita, spirituality. Everybody is into materialism. Why should I be interested in spirituality? No. This world is only 25% of the entire universe. Actually speaking, the entire creation is serving Krishna. Only 25% of those prisoners like us who are put in this jail of material world are busy in materialism. But originally, all the liberated souls are serving Krishna properly in the spiritual worlds. And then Krishna is talking about the devotees now. He's saying the thoughts of my pure devotees, right, dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. So the pure devotees, what is the proof that a person is a pure devotee? So we are saying that this person, this saint is such a pure devotee, such a great devotee. He's a Paramahamsa devotee. Okay, very nice. You're saying him as Paramahamsa devotee. That's very nice. What is the proof? The proof is that he must be fully devoted to Krishna's service. That is the proof. If somebody is fully devoted to Krishna's service, then only you can call him Mahatma or Paramahamsa, like that. Or else it's merely a title. It is actually abuse of the title. So unless there is this proof that such a person is a pure devotee who is fully devoted to Krishna's service, we cannot say that. And what is the second quality of the pure devotee? That is deriving great satisfaction and bliss by enlightening one another and conversing about Krishna. So is that person or that group talking about Krishna? So, Prabhupada also says this, that, somebody asked, how do we find out who is a guru? Prabhupada said it's very easy. He said, you find out whether a person is addicted to Krishna or not. How addicted to Krishna he is. I mean, if there is a group that you want to associate with, if you want to find out whether they are authentic or not, the simple test is just find out how much activities they are doing in relationship with Krishna consciousness. If they are not doing any activities related to Krishna or Krishna consciousness, they are very far from being spiritual, right? Or if you're doing some kind of mixed activities like social service, a little bit of Krishna consciousness, that is also not the best. The best society is that which is 24/7 engaged in Krishna consciousness. Correct? That is why this society is called as International Society for Krishna Consciousness. This is not a materialistic or a material society. This is a spiritual association created by the pure devotee Srila Prabhupada. So here is the description of the devotees. What is that? That they are always conversing and enlightening one another. One person is speaking, others are hearing. The next day, other person is speaking, everybody else is hearing. So every day they are hearing from each other. Always talking about Krishna. Always conversing about Krishna. Enlightening each other about Krishna. This is the quality that is glorified by Krishna himself. And what does Krishna do to them? To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Krishna is going to personally give the understanding to them how to come to Krishna. So Krishna gives knowledge in the form of Guru, right? He gives knowledge from within as Chaitya Guru, and without, that is outside also, he manifests himself in the form of a Guru and gives instructions. So this is the mercy of Lord Shri Krishna, that he identifies those people who are constantly devoted to him, and then he gives them understanding how to go back to Krishna. So this is a process. Going back to God, going back to Krishna is a whole process. And this process must be given by those people who are in the disciplic succession of Krishna, who have mastered the process. That is why Srila Prabhupada mentions we must do devotional service under the guidance of an expert bona fide spiritual master. So first of all, he must be an expert, daksha, very expert in engaging everyone in devotional service. Next is, such a person must be bona fide. Bona fide means not that, I'll just come and I'll just say, I'll just declare that I am Guru and I know everything. No, that is not bona fide. Bona fide means authentic Guru Parampara. Just like how do you say a college degree is bona fide if that is authorized by the Board of India. That is AICTE, right? All the universities are accredited by UGC, University Grants Commission. So if it is not given any accreditation, that university is a fake university. So similarly, a parampara means it must be a bona fide parampara. It must be coming from Krishna, and there must be acharyas in that parampara. And it must be a live parampara without unbroken parampara, right? Which has got all the texts and tenets which are explained by the previous acharyas, who are themselves very realized that if we are doing right, to them Krishna is giving understanding how to go back to him. See, what happens is, by the mercy of Krishna, we get a Guru. By the mercy of Guru, we get Krishna. Right? So this is the beautiful two tracks of spiritualism. So both the tracks are important, Krishna and Guru. That is Guru and Gauranga. Right? So both of the tracks, our train must go on both of these tracks, in a careful manner. So because that is how we can go back to Krishna. And Krishna is saying, to show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. So what happens when we take to this Krishna consciousness process is, slowly, there is knowledge within us. It's not like a bulb. I switch on the light and then suddenly, boom, there is light. That's not how it works. That is how people come to think of spirituality. That, one day, one night, just like they show it in the movies, there was one person, he will see, and there'll be some trigger, and in overnight, he became a wise person. Overnight, he became realized. It's not like a magical overnight process. It is like shining lamp of ignorance, just like how the sun is rising. Now, when there is darkness, a couple of hours back, it was all dark, and sun was rising, and there was a little bit of light. Now there is so much of light, and the noon, right, there will be brilliant light everywhere. So like that, the sun rises. Similarly, the knowledge also comes like that. When the shining lamp of knowledge comes, the ignorance is gone within the heart. So that is how it comes. So then, after hearing these 4 verses, Arjuna said, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, Vyasa confirm this truth about you. And now you yourself are declaring it to me. And Arjuna is overwhelmed by hearing this information from Krishna. And he's now accepting that, oh my dear Krishna, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And I've heard this before. It's not that I'm hearing it from you right now. I have been hearing it from long time. Even Narada said so, Asita said so, Devala said so, Vyasa said so. Everybody has said the same thing. I've heard this from all the sages already. And now you yourself have confirmed that you are the Supreme. And O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told to me. Neither the demigods nor the demons, O Lord, can understand your personality. So this is how we must be accepting Krishna. Sarvameta tritam manye. Arjuna is saying, whatever you said, I am accepting as it is. Right? This is the proper attitude of Krishna consciousness. Whatever Krishna says, we must be ready to say yes. So this is the proper attitude for a disciple. Now, the reason why Krishna gave this confidential knowledge to Arjuna, rather than giving it to some saintly people or to give to some sannyasi or to anybody else, the reason is because Arjuna is a friend of Krishna. He is not envious of Krishna. As long as we have envy for Krishna, right, then we cannot progress in spiritual life. The simplest and the basic thing is we must accept Krishna as the authority. Whatever Krishna says, I shall accept. Anybody who does that, he is successful. This is a simple formula. And coming to the verse number 15, he's saying, indeed, you alone know yourself by your internal potency, O Supreme Lord, origin of all Lord of beings, God of gods, Lord of the universe. Right? And actually, nobody can understand Krishna. Arjuna said that, see, even Krishna said, all the devatas, all the rishis, they cannot understand me because I am the origin in all respects. Correct? He said that, right? And now here Arjuna is saying the same thing. Not even the demigods nor the demons can understand your personality. And who can understand then? Who can understand about Krishna? You alone, yourself, by your internal potency, you know yourself, O Supreme Lord. That means that nobody can talk about Krishna. Factually, nobody knows about Krishna and nobody can talk about Krishna. It is only that Krishna knows about himself. And when he is explaining it, we are listening. And we are simply repeating what Krishna has said. It is not that I have understood Krishna. It is impossible for any living entity to understand Krishna. All we can do is simply repeat the message. Just like one simple example is, let us say that there is a small child who has just learned how to speak and he sees a refrigerator and he asks his father, dear father, what is this? And the father says, this is a refrigerator. So this small child with his broken language says refrigerator. And when somebody comes, uncle comes and asks, what is this refrigerator? He will say, it is correct. It is perfectly correct. See, this child has no realization. No problem. Doesn't matter. He simply has repeated what his father has said. Therefore, he is speaking perfectly. Similarly, even if there is any speaker of Bhagavad Gita, it's not that the speaker has understood the Bhagavad Gita, everything has understood Krishna. It is impossible for anybody to understand, including the demigods and anybody. Nobody can understand except Krishna. But if we simply repeat as it is, whatever is there, then it is perfect knowledge. Right? So this is therefore perfect knowledge because we are simply repeating what Krishna has said. Now in this verse, Arjuna is requesting Krishna, please tell me in detail of your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. Right? So today's verse is this. Right? He's saying, please tell me how you are pervading all these worlds. So Krishna is all pervasive. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is everywhere. It's not that he is there only in the temple. So that is the basic thing. Of course, Krishna is not different from the deity, but it doesn't mean that only deity is Krishna. Everything is emanating from Krishna. At the same time, it is not Krishna. This is called Achintya Bheda Bheda. See, I'll tell you one interesting story. So what happens? Lord Krishna, he leaves gopis, right, at a very young age, and he goes to Mathura. At the time when he was leaving in the chariot, right, driven by Akrura, all the gopis stop the way of Akrura and say, you cannot go. You cannot take our Krishna from us. We won't let you go from here. Then Krishna will say, my dear gopis, please let me go. I'll just come back very soon. Not much. Then they say, Krishna, if you go away, we cannot live. We cannot hold our lives. We will die in separation. Krishna says, don't worry. I'll just come back. I just have some duties in Mathura. I have to finish my duties and I'll come back very quickly. Don't worry. And then Krishna is gone. Then what happens? Krishna goes to Mathura and then he kills Kamsa. And then he starts all his leela of annihilating the demons, right? Like Shishupala, Jarasandha, and he is engaging in different strategies to make Yudhishthir Maharaj the king, and he's fighting with different demoniac kings, and he engages in that, and he's busy. He's never coming back to Vrindavan. He's just then he shifts his capital from Mathura to Dwarka, right? And then he's busy in Kurukshetra war, everything. So just before the Kurukshetra war, what happened was there was a solar eclipse. Then during that solar eclipse, all the Yadavas, right, that is Krishna's clan, they all went to Kurukshetra. And all the people of Vrindavan, inhabitants, Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda, and all the gopis, gopas, everybody went to Kurukshetra. So everybody assembled there, Pandavas, Kauravas, not for fighting, okay? This is before the war. So the purpose was for solar eclipse, they were coming there to do religious rites, Karma Kanda. It is recommended that during solar eclipse, one must go to Kurukshetra and give charity to the Brahmanas. So this is the Vedic scriptures saying, injunction. So they all are assembled there. At that time, first Krishna, he will go and meet Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda and pay obeisances to them. Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, they become choked up in love after seeing Krishna. And then Krishna speaks to them very nicely. And then there is a conversation between the Devaki and Vasudev and Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda. They speak for some time. While they're speaking, Krishna sneaks away from there and goes to the gopis. When they're, gopis are all there. So gopis are seeing Krishna after so many years, right? It's like so many years of separation. I mean, all these years, how the gopis have led their life, we cannot even imagine, because they were just holding their lives in separation of Krishna. At that time, Krishna comes and starts addressing the gopis. And he says that it is by the providence of the divine that separation and joining of different entities happen. Just like we were together for some time, and after that I had to go away for my duty. This is all because of providence. And he starts telling philosophy. And then he starts telling that actually I am the supreme absolute truth. My dear gopis, you should try to understand that. I'm sure, I think you are all very upset with me because I said that I will come back and I have left you alone and I came here. You might be very upset with me, but let me tell you something. I am the supreme absolute truth, and in my impersonal form, I am pervading everything. And therefore, I am not separated from you. I have always been with you only because in my impersonal form, I am there with you. So in my personal form, I am away, but in my impersonal form, I am with you. That this is called as Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. Achintya Bheda Bheda means inconceivable oneness and difference. So Krishna is, the original personality of Godhead, who is a person, right? Who is Govindam Adi Purusha. At the same time, he is pervading the entire universe. That is also Krishna. That is his external energy. That is also Krishna, but at the same time, it is not the same. So that is why inconceivable oneness and difference. There is oneness and there is difference also. Very simple example is, let us say that I write a WhatsApp message to my friend. So since I have written the message is my energy. It has come out from me. So in a way, it is me only. So if my friend sees my message, he will think that I have spoken it because the message has come from my mobile phone and it is who have texted it. So therefore, it is representing me. But at the same time, if you say that this WhatsApp message is me, but I am not me, or I have become reduced because of my WhatsApp message, that is again another foolish argument. It is a foolish extreme, right? Even though that WhatsApp message represents me, it has come out of me, it is same as me, it is still not me. Similarly, this material universe has come from God. Everything is God, but still it is not same as God, even though it is God. So this is called as the inconceivable oneness and difference. So therefore, right now, Arjuna is requesting Krishna to explain his opulences, particularly his impersonal attributes, right? So actually, Arjuna is completely convinced about Krishna, and he is saying just that, please explain me about the all-pervasive nature, right? Different energies, right? He's asking on behalf of common people, right? Even though he's completely convinced, he just wants to hear from Krishna how he is pervading the entire universe. So now Krishna is going to start speaking. Every verse is going to be so interesting. Starting from day after tomorrow, like in 2-3 verses, we will see Krishna will start saying what are his divine opulences, what is he, right? So he will start saying, and it is very, very nectarian. So I request all of you to don't miss this part. This is a very important part of Bhagavad Gita. So thank you very much for joining. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.